Assalamu alaikum, dear friends and students. Today we will discuss the chemistry of carboxylic acids. These are the topics that we will cover. So let us begin our lecture with the first topic, that is the acidity of carboxylic acids. As the name suggests, carboxylic acids are acidic in nature. This is the acidic proton that departs when the base is treated with this carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid has a pKa value of 4 to 5. So if we consider different halogens, uh, number of halogens linked to the alpha carbon, how the pKa value varies. You are not supposed to learn or memorize these pKa values, but just consider the trend. Let us start from this, which is unsubstituted, which does not have any halogen linked with this species. It has 4.76 pKa value, and when we have one halogen group attached to the alpha position, the pKa value drops. Halogen is a electron withdrawing group element, so it pulls the electron density towards itself, thus making this carboxylic group further acidic. And remember, with the pKa value, it means the lesser the pKa, the more acidic the species is, because pKa is the negative log of acid constant, that is Ka. So 4.76 pKa drops to 2.86 pKa if we have one chloro group attached. And if we have further chloro group attached, further more chloro, that is 2 chloro, the pKa value further drops from 2.86 to 1.48. And if we have 3 chloro groups attached, we have further drop in pKa value to 0.70. So this dropping in the pKa value is a result of increasing in the number of halogens which are electron withdrawing in nature. We have also one more effect for halogens depending upon the attachments. For example, we have this chloro group attached at 2 position of this butanoic acid, which says the pKa value to be 2.85. However, when we have this chloro group moved from 2 position to 3 position, the pKa value does not drop, rather it increases. That is, this 3 chloro species is somehow less acidic than this 2 chloro butanoic species. The reason is that chloro being electron withdrawing, uh, if it is nearer to this carboxylic group, this compound is acidic. When this electron withdrawing group goes farther from this carboxylic site, the acidity decreases and the pKa value increases. So by this token, if we have the chloro group at 3 position, the acidity further decreases and the pKa value further increases. So what we have summarized is that with the increase in number of halogens to the same carbon, the acidity increases and the pKa value decreases for these molecules. However, for the same number of halogens, the positions are also important. If the halogens are farthest to the carboxylic group, the least acidic the species is. And the halogen band which are nearest to the carboxylic group, the most acidic the molecule is. Now let us discuss the synthesis of carboxylic acids. The first synthesis is by the oxidative cleavage of alkenes. We know that when alkene is treated with potassium permanganate under alkaline condition at high temperature, this CC bond is broken and both carbons are oxidized to the carboxylic acid. We have one more way to make the carboxylic acid from the alkene by using the ozone followed by the oxidative workup. This is called the ozonolysis process. In this step, the first step is the mole ozonide formation, and then this mole ozonide converts into the secondary ozonide. We have already discussed its reaction mechanism when we were discussing the chemistry of alkenes. So we are not supposed to discuss the mechanism in this video, but just accept the fact that when ozone is treated followed by the oxidative workup, the reaction produces the carboxylic acids, provided that we have hydrogen here. The second method to make the carboxylic acid is the oxidation of aldehydes and primary alcohols. So these are the reactions which you must be familiar with. If we treat the aldehyde with this oxidizing agent, which is silver oxide, followed by the acidic workup, we may convert this aldehyde into the carboxylic acid. And also if we treat with the potassium permanganate under alkaline condition, followed by the workup, we may convert the aldehyde or the primary alcohol into the carboxylic acid. We may also use the other oxidizing agent, this is the chromic acid. So we have different varieties of oxidizing agents to convert the primary alcohol and the aldehydes to the corresponding carboxylic acids. The third method to synthesize the carboxylic acid is the oxidation of alkyl benzene. This we have also learned when we were discussing the chemistry of benzenes. Here, this R group is an alkyl group, but remember, this should not be the tertiary alkyl group. However, the primary or secondary alkyl group directly connected with the benzene ring when treated with the potassium permanganate converts into the carboxylic group. So this method gives us the carboxylic group directly connected with the benzene ring. The fourth method to synthesize the carboxylic acid is the carboxylation of Grignard's reagent. The same process is also called carbonation of Grignard reagent. Here, first of all, we make the Grignard reagent by treating this aryl bromide or alkyl bromide, whatever the starting material we take, with the magnesium in ether to have the corresponding Grignard reagent. And now at this stage, as we know that this carbon, which is directly linked with the magnesium, has become nucleophilic. So when we treat this Grignard reagent with the carbon dioxide, we have the CO2 group added to this carbon, followed by the workup to have the carboxylic overall group, carboxylic group to be present. One more method to make the ester, to make the carboxylic acid is the hydrolysis of esters. We have two types of hydrolysis, acid catalyzed and base catalyzed. In the acid catalyzed, we use the acid and water to convert this ester to the acid. And in the base catalyzed, the only difference is to use the base in place of acid. And remember, when base catalyzed hydrolysis occurs, we do not get the final product in the same step, rather we get the salt because of the base. For example, in this case, we want to make the carboxylic acid, but the base catalyzed hydrolysis of ester will give us the carboxylate salt. So upon workup, we may get the desired product. So it's a two-step reaction for the base catalyzed reaction hydrolysis. However, for the acid catalyzed hydrolysis, we have a one-step reaction. We may also get the carboxylic acid by the hydrolysis of amides. The same strategy when treated with excess water in the acidic medium, the amide hydrolyzes to the carboxylic acid, and upon the basic hydrolysis, we have the carboxylate salt formed from the amide, and upon workup, we may have the corresponding carboxylic acid. We may also hydrolyze the nitriles to get the carboxylic acid. Same strategy, the acid catalyzed hydrolysis of nitrile gives us the carboxylic acid, and the base catalyzed hydrolysis of nitrile gives us the carboxylate salt, which may be converted into carboxylic acid. So all the reaction mechanisms for the hydrolysis of amides, esters, or nitriles, they have already been discussed when we discussed the chemistry of amides, nitriles, and esters. Now let us discuss the reactions of carboxylic acids. So let us begin with the synthesis of acyl chlorides. We know that when we have the chlorine group attached with the carbonyl, it's called acyl chloride. It is also called acid chloride. So overall, it's a replacement of OH with the chlorine to have the acyl chloride from the carboxylic acid. The reagents that are used to convert the carboxylic acid into the acyl chlorides are thionyl chloride or oxalyl chloride or phosphorus trichloride or phosphorus pentachloride. So we may use any of these four reagents to have the acid chloride formation. So let's discuss the mechanism, and we take the reaction of carboxylic acid with the oxalyl chloride. This is the structure of oxalyl chloride, and you know when we have the two OH here in the place of in the placement of the chlorine, it's called the oxalic acid. So the first step must be the nucleophilic attack of the carboxylic acid to this highly electrophilic carbonyl carbon. And as a result, we will have this tetrahedral intermediate as we have been consistently discussing. And then this oxyanion will expel the chlorine group out. And we have this particular intermediate, and the chlorine that has been just expelled will attack to this carbonyl carbon. And again, after forming the tetrahedral intermediate, we will have this tetrahedral intermediate collapsed, and we have two very important entropically favored gases to make this reaction go. Here, when this oxyanion bonds between the carbon and oxygen, this CO bond is broken, and as a result, we have a oxygen carbon double bond, and this CC bond is also broken. And remember, CC bond breakage is not an easy task, but here the driving force for the breakage of CC bond is the formation of two gases which are called the carbon dioxide gas, CO2 gas, that has come from here, C double bond O, C double bond O, and the carbon monoxide gas which has come from here, C double bond O. So because of the generation of two gases, this reaction occurs and we have this acid chloride formed. So this reaction is highly entropically favored reaction. Now let us discuss the another method, another reaction of the carboxylic acid. It takes us to the synthesis of this carboxylic acid anhydride. Here we may use the acid chloride with the carboxylic acid present in the presence of base to have this ester formed, this anhydride formed, and this pyridinium chloride as the byproduct. So how this occurred? The first step must be the acid-base reaction because pyridine is basic in nature and this is carboxylic acid. So this is the pyridinium ion formed and we have this carboxylate anion formed. And then this carboxylate anion may attack this carbonyl carbon, and after the departure of chlorine, we may have this mixed anhydride formed. And remember, this is not the only method to make the anhydride. We may also have the anhydride formed if we have the two carboxylic group present in the molecule and which are properly aligned. For example, if we take this succinic acid, which is a dioic acid with the four carbons, when we treat with this species at high temperature, one water molecule is removed and we have this cyclized five-membered ring, which is called succinic anhydride. So this is another way to make the anhydride. And another example, this is called the phthalic acid, and at high temperature, we may make the phthalic anhydride in almost 100% yield. Let's discuss more reactions of carboxylic acids, and this time we may make the esters from the carboxylic acids. And remember, the synthesis of ester is also called the esterification. Here, when carboxylic acid is treated with alcohol under acidic condition, we have the ester formed. And remember, here the OH of the carboxylic acid is replaced with the OR of the alcohol and the water as the byproduct. And this esterification occurs under acidic condition and not in the basic condition. Because in basic condition, we will have simply the deprotonated carboxylic acid, which is called the carboxylate salt, and the reaction will stop because the alcohol will not find the way to enter into this carbonyl carbon because of the highly conjugated system. So mechanism, we have been consistently discussing that whenever a carbonyl group is reacted with an acid, the first step is always the anchoring of this carbonyl's oxygen's lone pair to the proton to have this protonated version. Now this has become activated. This is called the protonated carboxylic acid. And now the alcohol, which serves as a nucleophile, will attack to this activated carbonyl carbon. As a result, this CO bond is broken. To avoid the pentavalency of this carbon, we have this intermediate formed. Here, the proton shifting will occur. This H will remove and it will add to this oxygen. So we have this oxonium here, and then the lone pair of this alkoxys oxygen will push the lone pair of this hydroxys oxygen will push the water molecule of the system to have this protonated ester as an intermediate. And here, the water which has been just removed will serve as a base to produce the final product, that is the ester. So this is a very simple and a very logical mechanism. Now let us discuss one more reaction of carboxylic acid that takes us to the synthesis of amides. And here you could see the reaction. The first step is the reaction of amine with the carboxylic acid to form this ammonium carboxylate salt. This occurred because ammonia is a basic in nature and carboxylic acid is obviously acidic in nature. So it's an acid-base reaction and we have the salt form. And then at higher temperature, we have this amide. But this is not a good reaction, because once this salt is formed, because this carbonyl carbon is a poor electrophilic, and after being deprotonated, this carboxylate salt has been formed. This carbonyl carbon has become further poor electrophilic. So this ammonia does not find the way to attack to this carbonyl carbon. However, at harsh condition, at higher temperature, we have the entry of this NH2 group to this carbonyl to have this amide formed. But this is not a good way to make the amide from the ester because of the poor leaving tendency of this hydroxy. So what is the remedy? What is the solution to make the amide from the ester? Obviously, the answer lies at this position. What if we convert this OH to something that it becomes a good leaving group? For this, we may use a coupling agent. A coupling agent will is something that couples with this hydroxy, in fact the oxygen of the hydroxy, and then this hydroxy becomes a good leaving group. And then when the nucleophile amine or whatever attacks to this carbonyl carbon, we may have this group substituted with the amine. So what are the coupling agents? There are a lot of coupling agents that converts the carboxylic acid into the other functional group, such as the amides. And the famous and the most common coupling agents are dicyclohexyl carbodiimide, which is called DCC, or the carbonyl diimide azole, which is called CDI. So let us discuss the mechanism of the formation of amide from the carboxylic acid, considering the DCC as a coupling agent. So this is the mechanism we are going to start. This is the structure of a carboxylic acid and this is the structure of dicyclohexyl carbodiimide DCC. Yeah, consider here this C6H11 is the cyclohexyl ring at both terminals, and we have the C double bond N here and C double bond here, because we have diimide, two imide bond, and the carbon central carbon, this one, is extremely electrophilic. So the first step must be the attack of this carbonyls oxygen, carbonyl of this carboxylic acids oxygen to this electrophilic central carbon, and then this C double bond N bond will be broken as a result, and we have this intermediate. And then this oxonium ion will convert and will neutralize when this lone pair of oxygen forms the bond between the C double bond O. So this intermediate has the same structure as this one, the only difference is of the resonance. So why it's happened? Why it happened? Because now this hydrogen, if we remove this hydrogen, we may have this oxygen as a neutral. So this hydrogen transfers to this nitrogen, because this nitrogen is negatively charged and this oxygen is positively charged. So in transferring this proton from here to here, both atoms, the oxygen and nitrogen, will neutralize. So this is the proton transferring, and we have this product where we have this carbonyl and this NH. And this intermediate is very reactive, and if you consider, which is I'm circling this portion, it was H when we started, because it was a carboxylic acid, R carbonyl and OH. So in the placement of H we have this larger group. So when the nucleophile, that is the amine in this particular case, attacks to this carbonyl carbon, like this nitrogen lone pair attacks to this carbonyl carbon, we have this breakage of pi bond and O negative here. So this C here, you could see, is attached with the NH2R. This has come from this amine source and the oxyanion. And then the lone pair of this oxygen forms a bond between the carbon oxygen. As a result, this CO bond is broken, and we have the amide formed as our desired product. And as a byproduct we have this dicyclohexyl urea. And remember, if you consider the structure of dicyclohexyl urea, because if you remove the cyclohexyl from the both side and place H both side, it is simple urea. So this is called the dicyclohexyl urea. If you consider the dicyclohexyl urea with the, if you compare with the DCC, you could simply see that if you simply add water to DCC, OH here to this carbon and H here to this nitrogen, so this will form the dicyclohexyl urea. So overall we have the OH group replaced with this NRH group, and water has been departed. The OH from this carboxylic and H from this amine to form the water, and that water has added to the DCC to have dicyclohexyl urea as the byproduct. So now let us discuss one more reaction of carboxylic acid, this time the synthesis of ketones from carboxylic acid. And you know, this happens when we treat the carboxylic acid with the Grignard reagent or with the organolithium compounds. So here is the general reaction. You could see this carboxylic acid when treated with the RLI or RMGX followed by the acetic percup, we have the ketone. Here this R prime, whether it is from the organolithium or from the Grignard reagent, replaces this OH to have the ketone. Here you could see we have used two equivalents. And why two? This will be discussed in the mechanism. So this is the mechanisms. You could see the first step must be the acid-base reaction. That is, the R of this organometallic compound is nucleophilic in nature, and also it's very much basic in nature. So it reacts with the carboxylic acid's hydrogen to have the alkane produced and this lithium carboxylate salt. So the first equivalent of organolithium or the Grignard reagent has been consumed in simple acid-base reaction. So now the second equivalent that we have used will come into action, and being very much nucleophilic in nature will attack this carbonyl carbon to have this intermediate. This dianion has been formed. And remember, this is not an easy task to attack to this extremely least reactive carbonyl carbon. Because if you consider the hierarchy of reactivity of different carboxylic acid derivatives, the acid chloride is the most reactive carboxylic derivative, and then we have the acid anhydride, then we have the ester, or then we have the amide, to be the least reactive carboxylic acid derivative. But the carboxylate salt, the H minus from the carboxylic acid, is further is the most decrease has the most decreased reactivity, even worse than the amide. But this reaction occurred because of the high nucleophilic strength of this organometallic species. So anyways, when we have this dianion formed, and upon the workup, the both oxyanion will protonate to have this jam diol, and this is also called hydrate. And if you recall, when we were discussing the reactions of aldehydes and ketones, we discussed when we add the water to aldehyde or ketone, we have this jam diol formation, and the reaction is quite reversible. So if we since we have the acid present, so this jam diol will give us this ketone as our desired product. And here one more question lies, why this ketone is not further attacked by the organolithium to have the tertiary alcohol. The reason is that we have added water to spoil all the remaining organolithiums at this level, at this stage. So before the formation of the ketone, we have no more organolithium left. So this is the reason the reaction will neatly stop at ketone and will not proceed to the tertiary alcohol. More reactions, uh, for the carboxylic acid, we may synthesize the primary alcohol from the carboxylic acid in a simple reduction reaction. This is the reaction. We have this carboxylic acid when treated with lithium aluminum hydride, we have this primary alcohol formed. So overall, we have this double bond oxygen removed and two hydrogens here. Again, we have used the two equivalents, and now this time you must have understood why the two equivalent. The first equivalent of lithium aluminum hydride will simply serve as a base to deprotonate this carboxylic acid to have the carboxylate salt. Here you could see in the mechanism, the first step is the attack of the hydride to the acidic proton to have this carboxylate salt. And then the second mole, and before the second mole, first we have the complexation step. This oxyanion will complex with aluminum trihydride to have this complex formed, and then the second hydride transfers to this carbon to have this intermediate formed. Here we have the oxyanion group to form the carbon oxygen double bond, and we have the aldehyde formed. Here, one thing I would like to add, the two equivalents are used for the good measure. Why good measure? Because it is not necessary that this hydride comes from here as we have shown. The second mole of lithium aluminum hydride, as we have used the first mole here, the second mole of lithium aluminum hydride, which we have not shown here, could have also attacked to this carbonyl carbon to have this intermediate. So it is not necessary that the same aluminum hydride will give the hydride twice. So for the good measure, we have used the two equivalents. Anyways, we have got the aldehyde, and remember, the reaction will not stop at this level because aldehyde is very reactive. So this lithium aluminum hydride, which is present in the system, will attack this aldehyde, and now from now we have the same mechanism which we have discussed for the reactions of aluminum hydride with the aldehyde to form the primary alcohol. So this hydride will attack to carbonyl carbon, and we have this oxyanion formed, and upon the workup we have the primary alcohol. So how many equivalents are to be used? In fact, we have to use at least two equivalent that we have shown. The first equivalent served here and the second equivalent served here. But if we use the three equivalents, it's okay, because the first equivalent will serve here and second equivalent, as we discussed, may also attack here to have this intermediate, and then the third equivalent will attack here. So at least two equivalents are used, and we may also use the three equivalents for good measure. So now in the summary, for the synthesis of carboxylic acids, how we could make the carboxylic acid, there are a lot of reactions that we have discussed. The first step, the first reaction is in the carbon-carbon double bond breakage with the help of potassium permanganate in under alkaline condition at high temperature, followed by the workup. The second step is to use the ozonolysis followed by the oxidative workup. They both will give us the same carboxylic acid. The third step, the third route is to oxidize the the aldehyde to the carboxylic acid, or the primary alcohol to the carboxylic acid, using the same oxidizing agents, whether the potassium permanganate, or we may also use the silver oxide or the chromic acid, as we discussed. We may also convert this alkyl benzene to the benzoic acid. However, remember that this alkyl must not be tertiary in nature. Only the primary or the secondary alkyl will react in this manner. Also, if we have the haloalkane, the alkyl halide group, alkyl halide functional group present, and we make the Grignard reagent of this alkyl halide, and then we carboxylate this Grignard reagent or carbonate, then upon workup we may have this carboxylic acid group formed. And we have also discussed the hydrolysis of the ester or the amide to have this carboxylic acid form. And remember, if we have the acid halide or the acid anhydride, still we may make the carboxylic acid. We also discussed the hydrolysis of nitriles to have the carboxylic acid synthesis. For the reactions of carboxylic acids, we may convert the carboxylic acid into the acid chloride using these reagents. We may make the anhydride from the carboxylic acid. We may esterify the carboxylic acid to have the ester formed. We may convert the carboxylic acid into the amide if we use the coupling agent such as DCC or CDI, followed by the nucleophilic attack of the amine to have the amide formed. We may use the Grignard reagent or organolithium compound followed by the workup to have the ketone from the carboxylic acid, and the carboxylic acid may also convert into the primary alcohol upon the reduction with the lithium aluminum hydride. So these are some reactions that we have discussed in this lecture. So in the next video we will discuss the chemistry of carboxylic acid derivatives, that is the acid chloride, ester, amide, anhydrides, etc. So thank you for watching.